Hey everybody, another GMG review. Today we're taking a look at the Scout Squad Legacy Kill Team data cards for Warhammer 40,000's 2024 new edition of Kill Team. Now these were kindly sent as a complimentary review copy by Games Workshop and represent rules in print for the sort of like legacy factions from the last couple editions of Kill Team. So I was sent 8 of these. I'm gonna try and review as many as I can for today. Some might come out later in the day depending upon how many I get through. That's a whole lot of video content coming for Kill Team, but these follow the same structure as what's in the Hive Storm dossier for Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team in a new tarot-sized format. So no additional printing for this, and it also reprints the universal equipment cards that come in the Hive Storm box set, so you have reference to those if you want to use them. They're in every single one of these card decks, so if you want to check out what those do, go check out the Hive Storm dossier review, because I'm not going to do that 8 times. 8 more times is just a lot. But what do you get in here? Well, you get your team structure card. So this is how you're going to play the team. It's going to be 9 models, 1 Scout Squad Sergeant, and then 8 Scout Squad members. They can take a single heavy gunner with one of the 2 weapon upgrades, so the missile launcher, the heavy bolter, a hunter, a sniper, a tracker, and then you fill in the rest with warriors. Typically, it's going to be 3. Your leader can have either a shotgun, a bolt gun, or a bolt pistol and chainsword. I built mine with the melee option. Your gunner can have either a missile launcher or a heavy bolter. I built both out of the box set of 10 models, so I can switch between in games. The hunter, who's got his melee weapon and cool like Batman grappler. The sniper, who has a sniper rifle, obviously. The tracker, who has his Geordie LaForge goggles and little auspex. And the warriors can be armed with a mix of shotguns, bolt pistols, and bolt guns. Now, the faction rule is pretty similar to the one from the last edition of the game. You get 5 forward scouting points over the course of the setup phase. And they can be used for a bunch of things, like setting up booby traps, so you can set up a booby trap marker. As soon as you move in control range of it, it does 2d3 damage. You can use it to like block off a piece of the board. You can do each of these as many times as you want, up to 5. So you can put up 5 booby traps if you want, I believe. For example, you can put up reposition for 2, a triple arm, a booby trap, and a diversion. And you alternate based upon who has initiative for these setup things. Each option is and the maximum number of times you can do it is typically on here as well. So like for instance, if you're going to do, some of these are done a maximum of a certain amount of times. Each option has a number in brackets, which is the maximum times you can select it and resolve for the battle, and each one costs 1. So like you could do booby trap once, you could do triple arm twice, you could do reposition twice, and you get up to 5 of these. So booby trap is you place a mine. Diversion is once per strategic gambit, select 1 enemy operative within 6 of a kill zone edge, and it's -1 APL. So you can like make a weird call. Gain a CP, you're almost always going to do that one. Designate target. Select an enemy operative to gain 1 of your target tokens. Whenever a friendly Scout Squad operative is shooting against that or retaliating against it, you can reroll 1 of your attack dice. Spy, approved ops only. Your opponent must reveal their selected TAC ops. You can figure out which TAC op they have. Again, a really handy one. Redeploy, change the setup of 1/3 of your operatives. So you have 3 guys running up. Reposition, perform a free reposition action with up to 2 friendly operatives. So you can buy this one twice. That's wholly within your drop zone. It must and it's moved wholly within 3 of your drop zone. So somebody who's moved can move and stay within 3. And then triple arm, place 1 of your triple arm markers more than 6 from your opponent's drop zone during the first and second turning point. Whenever a friendly Scout Squad operative is shooting an enemy operative within 2 of it, its ranged weapons have Seek, and the ready step of the 3rd strategy phase, remove the marker. So you have a little like chime that goes off. So that's your faction rule. That's really it. You get to buy these 5 different things, 5 things up to the number of times in brackets, and do them before the game starts. Then your strategic ploys. These are your game round ploys. You get 4 of them. You get stealth relocation. Select a friendly Scout Squad operative more than 6 from the enemy. You can immediately perform a free dash action with it, and or change its order. You can't use this ploy during the first turn. Blade ambush, whenever friendly Scout Squad operative, and then you also get gunfire ambush. Basically, whenever you come out of conceal to engage at the start of your activation, if it wasn't visible to the enemy at the start of its activation, you get ceaseless, and if the target's expended, its melee weapons get rending. So blade ambush is you get to turn an additional hit into a crit in melee, and you get ceaseless. Gunfire ambush, same thing. You get balanced if you're using a ranged weapon. If the target's expended, you get ceaseless instead. And the last one's guerrilla engagement. Whenever an enemy operative is shooting at a friendly Scout Squad operative, if that friendly operative is in cover and more than 6 away from the enemy, you can reroll 1 of your defense dice because you're just good at hiding. So more defense, you good at hiding. Get bonuses for fighting models that are expended, and also you get to alternate between gunfire and shooting. And then finally, stealth relocation, make a dash and change your order. That can be really handy for setting up the blade ambush or gunfire ambush with a key model. And then your firefight ones, Astartes training, spend a CP to do 2 of the same action, 2 fight or 2 shoot. Raw physiology, use this firefight ploy during a friendly scout squad activation. You can ignore your changes to your APL and weapons from being injured, so your movement doesn't go down, you're minus to hit. Emboldened aspirant, use this firefight ploy when a friendly scout squad operative performs a fight or shoot action at the end of the roll attack dice step. If it's the first friendly operative to perform either of these actions during the turning point, or if an enemy operative has a higher wound stat, it gets severe. So you turn a miss into a, if you roll any crits, you turn a miss into a hit. And then firefight ploy, covert position, use this firefight ploy during a friendly scout squad operative. Oh no, sorry, so if you don't roll any crits, one of your hits turns into a crit for severe. Covert position, use this firefight ploy during a friendly scout squad's activation. Until the start of the next activation, while the operative has a conceal order and is in cover, it can't be a valid target. So you just turn invisible. Even if you're elevated, you can't see into it. And then we've got our actual models in here. So these guys are all based upon the Scout Warrior profile. 2 APL, 6-inch move, 4+ save, and 10 wounds. The weapons, although you have the new profile here, are pretty much the same as they were in the last edition. So you start your shotgun, hits on 2s, but only with a range of 6 inches and 4/4 damage. The bolt pistol, it's 3/4 damage on a 3+ with 4 shots, 8-inch range. Bolt gun's the same with no range restriction. Combat blades are 4 attacks, 3+, 3/5 damage. So if you've got the combat blade and bolt pistol option, and then fists are 3 attacks, 3+, 3/4 damage. So a bit fightier on the combat blade, I believe, than previous. And then adaptive equipment, you can do each of the following once per turning point. You get a free universal grenade upgrade on all these guys. One friendly scout warrior can perform the smoke grenade action, and one friendly scout warrior can perform the stun grenade action. These rules for these actions are found in universal equipment. So that's why you get universal equipment in here, because you get free grenades. Everybody else is the same core stat block, right? So 2 APL, move 6, and a 4+ save, except the boss, he's got a extra wound for 11, because he's an Astartes, he's got 3 APL. Although he's not the only leader with 3 APL anymore. You've also got that on the new Scions leader. A lot of the new leaders are going to get the following things. So he gets guidance and experience. Once during each of the operative's activations, you can select another friendly scout squad visible, and they get 1 extra APL. So you can make them fight like a space marine if you can see them. And then he's also an Astartes. During this operative's activation, it can do 2 shoot or 2 fight actions. And he can have his chainsword or fists as his loadout. Then we got our specialists. So starting with the tracker, he's got, like I said, his Geordie LaForge goggles, and he's got a special ability, which continues on the other side. So he's got track for 1 AP. He's a bolt gun scout, basically. Select 1 expended enemy operative within 8 of this operative until the end of this turning point. Whenever a friendly scout squad operative is shooting at that, it gets the Seek light weapon trait. And Seek allows it to ignore the bonus retained dice for cover. But you can't do it when you're engaged with the enemy. And you can also Auspex scan for an AP until the start of this next operative's next activation, or until it's incapacitated. Whenever a friendly scout squad operative is shooting at an enemy operative within 8 of this operative, that enemy operative cannot be obscured. So you don't get the heavy trait obscured bonus where you have to drop off a success and you can't get crits. If that friendly operative is a sniper and it's using its optics action, it also gets Seek light, so you can't retain any saves. So basically you can shoot through walls like the railgun and eraser. As an eraser reference for all you guys. Arnold Schwarzenegger's beginning of the end for his movie career. Scout heavy gunner, it's just a scout, but he's got either a missile launcher or a heavy bolter. They're pretty much the same. Piercing crits, so 6s to hit will get 1 less defense dice. Torrent 1 on the sweeping fire, and they're both dash only for movement. 5 shots for the focus, 3+, 4/5 damage. You'd lose a shot for the sweeping. And then you also get a missile launcher. A missile launcher is blast 2 inches heavy and dash for the frag grenades, 3+ shots on 3/5 damage, or the missile launcher with crack 5/7 damage, 4 shots on 3s, and it's piercing 1. They both get fists and bolt pistols on top of that. Your hunter, he's got a combat blade. He's your melee dude. So his grapnel launcher, whenever you're climbing, treat the vertical distance as only 2 inches, regardless. He's always got a ladder, basically, from the universal equipment. And then grapnel assault, whenever he performs a charge action during its activation, if it climbs, drops, or jumps, it gets lethal 3+ on its melee weapons. And the combat action, or the combat blade, is 4 attacks, 3+, 3/5 damage. So he's very cool. No extra additional rules than that. And then finally the sniper, he's got his night goggles, so you know he gets to do night shoveling and other goggling archer style activities. His camo cloak gives him, whenever it's shooting, so whenever this operative is being shot, ignore the saturate weapon rule, so you can always retain saves. And if you retain any cover saves, you can retain an additional one or make one of them a crit. So he's just really hidey. And then his optics rule, he can spend an AP until the start of the next operative's next activation. Whenever it's shooting enemy operatives, they can't be obscured. So that's why he combines with the tracker to gain seek as well, because he's already able to do what the tracker does just with his night goggles. And then his sniper rifle is either mobile for 4 shots on 3s, 3-4 damage, or stationary for silent, heavy, devastating 3 for 4 shots on 2s, 3-3 damage. And that's it for your core stat lines. And then we got our faction equipment. Now, faction equipment has gotten a lot better in this edition of the game because it typically applies to everybody. So for instance, the whole team can buy camo cloaks. Whenever an operative is shooting at a friendly scout squad operative, excluding the sniper, if your tanny saves, get an additional one. And this isn't improved with improved saves from Vantage. Targeting oculars. Once per turning point, when a friendly scout squad operative is performing the shoot action and you're selecting a valid target, you can use this rule. If you do so, you gain saturate on your weapon. Combat blades and knives. Everybody's combat blades basically get amazing. So all the friendly scouts get a basic combat blade for 3 attacks, 3+3/5 damage. So they get an additional crit damage there. And the scout hunter and scout warrior go to 4/5 damage. So you get better machetes on all the guys who are equipped for hand-to-hand. And then finally, a bipod for your gunner. Whenever a heavy gunner is shooting with a heavy bolt or a missile launcher, if it hasn't moved during this action or if it's counteracting, that weapon has ceaseless, so reroll all of one type of rolls. If the weapon already has this rule, it gets relentless instead. And note that this operative isn't restricted from moving after shooting. So handy faction equipment. And that's it. So there's your faction rules for the Scout Squad. Pretty similar to the last edition. Stats moved up to being basically under like the new profiles and stuff like that. And yeah, giving you a reprint of the universal rules. So if you're looking to play your Scout Squad in the new edition, this is the card deck to get. It's going to give you the player aids. And I do say that playing with the factions this way, using the tarot cards, makes it far easier to have all of your information in front of you at the start of the game. I believe these are something like 35 bucks Canadian, 30, 38 bucks. Which puts them into the relatively affordable price range. And I know that this faction in particular, the Scout Squad, is going to be in at least this season and the next season of the matched play rules for Kill Team. And obviously this model kit is available for Space Marine players already everywhere. So it's a super accessible Kill Team from the ones that are out right now. So anyway, there it is. I'll look at the Scout Kill Team. Big thanks for watching. We'll see you for more GMG reviews today for as many of these Kill Teams as I can get through. Till next time, I'm Ash. Gaming.